is it for a busy professional? Because we have to be realistic. Life can be really busy. That's the truth. And especially in a fast-moving city like Lagos and so many other cities like that across Nigeria, across Africa, even out there in the world. What's life like for a busy professional who wants to keep active, stay committed to development, personal development, and living a life of adventures and all that? Well, you are going to get to meet with a gentleman who is like a role model for us in this regard. And what an exciting life is living in this regard. Let's get to meet with a gentleman I just love to simply call Magic Magnus. Enjoy this.
A chartered accountant with a busy professional life, crunching the numbers and balancing the books. Yet, Magnus Ekpiken is committed to ticking off his passion, adventure, and personal development boxes on the go.
My name is Magnus Ekpiken. I'm an accountant. Yeah, but I have a couple of very crazy hobbies, like some people tell me. So I like walking. In fact, most people at work call me Johnny Walker because I'm always walking. I've recently taken up hiking. So I've gone to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Another hobby that I've had since I was a child is reading. I love books. I've always read for as long as I can remember. So a third hobby, and then I'm not sure which is more important, but I play chess. So the way most men take soccer, that's the way I take chess. Chess is my life.
Working hard to make a living, survive, or succeed can be extremely challenging and difficult. For many, it is a big struggle to combine this with doing things they're passionate about. Tough, it certainly is, but doable.
I'm not sure there's no clash. For instance, so apart from reading, I also listen to podcasts, so I can do that while I'm working. And then while I'm home, I can read or play chess. So there's no conflict, as it were. So all the three are closely knitted together.
Magnus's love for walking once led him to scale the highest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro.
So in my office, right now I'm on the 4th floor, but there was a time when I was on the 9th floor, and I always used the stairs. The last time I used the lift was May 2018. I've always used the staircase after that. And so when I stumbled across somebody's account of Kilimanjaro, I said, well, it would be a bad idea. Let me plan that. And I did. And it was a very stressful but very beautiful experience.
He shares his plan to embark on a walk from his home in Lekki all the way to Ibadan, the Oyo State capital.
A lot of people had different things to tell me about my planned walk to Ibadan. Some people tried to discourage me, and I understand why, because it's not really safe. Some people say there are lots of places along that route where I mean, we could have kidnappers. And so what I decided to do was, first of all, let me even see how it would be like to walk part of the distance. And so I think about a month ago, I decided to walk from my house in Lekki, Lagos, to Ojota, because that's the route I plan to take while walking to Ibadan. So it took me about 8.5 hours from Ikate to Ojota. If I'm not mistaken, that's about 34 kilometers. I left my house about 5 a.m. and I got there about 1 in the afternoon. When I got back, I was pleasantly surprised because I expected it to be a lot tougher in terms of the roads are not very pedestrian friendly, but I was able to find my way around that. I also decided to do a test run. So what that means is to take a drive to Ibadan and try and see those areas that people had told me was risky. And when I got to Ibadan, or on the way to Ibadan, I understood what people told me. I mean, it's not very safe. There was about a 30-minute stretch that was, all you had were forests on both sides of the road. And so I'm not sure I'll still go just because of the security. If I can take care of the security bit, then it's something I really want to do. Over that, he wore a threadbare military type tunic.
But it's not just walking for Magnus. The chartered accountant loves reading, and he talks about the kinds of books that hold him.
I read everything. I read fiction. I don't know if I mentioned I've actually written a book, I've actually published a book. I did that a long time ago, a book of short stories. But if I were to pick the kind of book I really like, I'm sure you would guess the books on adventure, books on historical novels, novels with a historical perspective. For instance, I'm reading Men of Men now. That's a book by one of my favorite authors, Wilbur Smith. Wilbur Smith writes about Africa. He writes about, he really researches ancient African traditions. And I really love to read him. So that's the kind of book I like to read. For instance, the kind of movies I also like to watch. I'm not really a movie person, but I'd like to watch movies that have this sort of historical background. I mean, it's history, but fiction. Favorite chess book is Simple Chess. Simple Chess is by Michael Steen. That's the very first book that taught me about the fundamentals of chess. So after reading that book, when I got back to play with the person who taught me, I was able to win him. So it breaks down the principles of chess in very simple terms. So for me, Simple Chess is number one. Unfortunately, I don't have it here. I think I lent it to somebody. But I've got a couple of other ones. I like books by Anatoly Karpov. I've got 2 here. I have Fisher's My 60 Memorable Games. I have all the 5 copies of my great predecessors by Kasparov. I've got books about Mikhail Tal. I mean, I've got quite a number of chess books. I'm very lucky that I have a job that, to a very large extent, takes care of my basic needs. And so I really don't have to stress about the basic things of life. And then if you're passionate about something, one way to express that passion is to find time to do what you're passionate about. I like reading, so I'll find time. I mean, I remember growing up, at a particular stage in my life, we only had one toilet at home. And so my mom wouldn't let me go into the toilet until every other person had gone in, because I would always go with the book. While eating, for instance, before you guys came, I was having breakfast and I was reading. So you always find time to do what you like. My favorite book. So I would assume that would be fiction. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, my favorite author is Wilbur Smith. I like what Wilbur Smith writes about. But I have to say that I don't know where it is now. There's this small book. It's called The Fan Club. It's by Ivan Wallace. I love that book. It's a beautiful book because it sort of breaks down human psychology, tells you that human beings are capable of anything. I mean, good or bad, depending on the circumstance. And I like the way Ivan Wallace depicted that in that book. So for me, Fan Club is one of my best books, one of my best reads ever. I buy from Latana. Latana is a popular bookshop in VI. But I discovered most of these guys who sell in Ojuelegba or things in CMS, they've got some really old books, old secondhand books. And so there was a time I went to Ojuelegba, I mean somewhere close to Ojuelegba, my eye clinic. And then on my way back, I stumbled across, because I like Wilbur Smith novels, I stumbled across somebody who had a lot of Wilbur Smith books. So this was a long time ago, about over 10 years ago. I'm not sure exactly when. His name is Jude. He has a small bookshop in Ojuelegba. So from that day, I've used Jude a lot. So once he knows the kind of books I like. So once he sees any, once he gets any, he calls me and lets me know. So I buy a lot of books from Jude. So I'm at Ojuelegba, pretty rough. I'm going to visit Jude. Jude is my bookseller. I buy lots of used books from him. So I want to say I can pick up a few books from there.
Magnus then takes us along to the heart of Lagos, Ojuelegba, precisely to meet his favorite bookseller, Jude.
Oga Jude.
You're welcome, sir.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. How's everything, sir?
Everything is fine. What do you have for me today?
Wow. Second-hand books is a rare books. It's books you see by chance. And these books are imported. Sometimes they come with containers and so on. And it's not a book that you can easily see. So a lot of people patronize us because these books are rare. Okay, you may see a book now. Before you see the book again, it may take years before you're able to see it. After if I thought you will see it. So a lot of people, they normally patronize us. They even buy it more than all these new books. Okay, though because of my location, a lot of people don't really know where I stayed because of my location, because I'm inside. But so far so good. Somehow a lot of people are still, because of my contact, they're able to get to me. Okay. Then Mr. Magnus have been a great customer, a very good customer and a friend to me for a very long time. When he come, he buy a lot. And his favorite, he buy a lot of books, but his favorite is Wilbur Smith. He so likes Wilbur Smith. So I try my best to each time I get a consignment, I make sure I arrange Wilbur Smith for him. So when he comes, he picks the ones he wants. Okay, he also read a lot, like Jackie Collins and other ones, but his main focus is Wilbur Smith, and I have gotten a lot of Wilbur Smith.
A chartered accountant, a worker, a chess enthusiast, a reader, and author, Magnus is proof that perhaps work, passion, and the written word can find space in our busy schedules.